Hey, it's Joy. If you watched my last video on how the Cybertruck production vehicle compared to the prototype Cybertruck that I wrote in back in 2019, you will know that I attended the Cybertruck delivery event in person. Some of you have asked how this event compares to other Tesla events I've attended. The very first event I attended was the Cybertruck unveiling back in 2019. And then Cyber Rodeo, which was the official Giga Texas factory opening celebration party back in 2022. So this was my third official Tesla event. I have to say that the delivery event of the Cybertruck was a lot more intimate compared to the unveiling and Cyber Rodeo. Cyber Rodeo was just massive because the employees were all invited and they were allowed to invite up to 4 guests, while non-employees, if you got the lottery to go, you could invite one more person with you. So Cyber Rodeo was just huge, huge, huge. The unveiling was also a big event, but it was not as crazy as Cyber Rodeo. However, the delivery event that took place just a week ago, it was much, much smaller crowd. So this time, Elon and I, the distance between us was actually the shortest. However, I still could not see him quite well because I was in a sea of people and most of the time my view was blocked. But for those that attended the Cybertruck delivery event, I told them, you guys are lucky because this is the smallest gathering I've ever attended for me. And this was a lot more intimate than Cyber Rodeo and the unveiling event. Just like the Cyber Rodeo, the Cybertruck delivery event also included a self-guided factory tour, showing you how the Cybertruck is being put together with the robots doing the dance and being put on demo mode. And there were actually staff at each station explaining to you exactly what's happening in the production process, which is really, really cool. But this time in Giga Texas, compared to 2022, when I was there for the opening, I felt that this factory is alive and I felt the energy there. Because outside of the self-guided tour area, I could see people just carrying on their day-to-day job, pushing out Model Ys in the background. I also found out, interestingly, at the delivery event that the international retail investor shareholders, there's a few of them, they actually got a private factory tour. I got this information from YN Lee, who came all the way from Taiwan and whom I met in Taiwan in 2022. He told me, hey, Joy, did you know that us international retail investors are being treated to a private tour? I was like, what? So he showed me on his badge, the shareholder's badge, that he had a yellow dot on it. So he said, yeah, this yellow dot means that I get to go on the private tour. And there's only a handful of us international retail investors that got invited to this. So I didn't know about this, and now we know. So we pretty much walked through the assembly line of Cybertruck all the way to the light tunnel, which is the final phase for them to do final inspections of the vehicle before they say, okay, it's ready to be delivered. Once we went through that tunnel, we came to the event area. My plus one for this event was Chris from Test Plus. I'll put their website here. They do Tesla accessories. The reason why I invited him was he's never been to a Tesla event and he's such a huge Tesla supporter, a Tesla owner, And November 30th, on that day, was his birthday. And so I said, hey, Chris, how would you like to go to the delivery event with me as my plus one? And this is for your birthday. And he was just over the moon. So when Chris and I were trying to find a good spot to watch the event, he said, hey, Joy, I walked by this person on the other side of the room, and I think that's Tom Zhu, head of Tesla China and the rumored successor of Elon Musk. So we quickly pulled up Tom's photos on the phone, and he's like, yeah, that's him. So I was like, come on, let's go and say hello to him. So we walked up to Tom, and sure enough, it was him. He was just standing in the back, chatting with another staff, super low-key. People didn't even know who he was. So I walked up to him, opened my mouth, and spoke to him in Chinese, saying, are you Mr. Zhu? And he said, yes. So we were fortunate to have run into Tom Zhu at the event, and we spent a few moments with him. Basically, I just thanked him for all the hard work that he and his team had put into in making this happen. And we're just so excited for the Cybertruck to finally be delivered and to start mass production. So we took a photo with Tom, and after the event, people started to recognize him. So he got more people walking up to take a photo with him. Tom was very kind, very gracious, and just a super nice person. After the Cybertrucks were delivered to the new owners and the event was done, Franz was there, of course, the Tesla chief designer. So I walked up to Franz and I said, hey, Franz, we actually took a photo together 4 years ago at the unveiling event. We have to take another one. Today is a special day. And he said, of course. So I took a photo with Franz. And when it was Chris's turn to take a photo with him, I told Franz, hey, today is Chris's birthday. So Franz wished Chris a happy birthday. And Chris couldn't be even more happy. And he kept telling me this was the best birthday present ever because he saw Elon in person finally. He saw Tom and chatted with him. And then now Franz wished him a happy birthday in person. At the event, of course, you would also run into huge YouTubers like Zach from Jerry Rig Everything, Dan from What's Inside, Kim Java, Andy Sly, just to name a few, and also other Tesla community members. It always blesses my heart when people come up to me and said, "You're Joy. I watch your videos. I follow you on X. I follow you on Instagram. I love meeting people in person. So if you ever see me, just come up and say hello. I'm not shy and I would absolutely love to meet you." After about an hour or so, Tesla was kicking us out of the factory. And right outside the lobby, they have several Cybertrucks on display. I love the matte black one, which was wrapped because now Tesla offers wrapping service for the cars. And I just couldn't get over how beautiful and gorgeous the matte black Cybertruck looks. So if any one of you is considering getting a Cybertruck, think about wrapping it in matte black. It just looks amazing. When we were leaving the factory to go back to the hotel, Chris initially held a Uber for he and I, Heather and Cameron, my travel buddy from Taiwan and California. Unfortunately, the Uber driver canceled on us like 5 to 10 minutes away. And we're like, what is going on? So Chris held another Uber. And this time, a Tesla Model Y accepted it. And so when he came, we jumped in the Model Y. We started chatting with the Uber driver. His name is Vu, and I'm giving him a big shout out here. So Vu told us he is a huge Tesla fan. He is up to date on all the Tesla news, But of course, he was not at the delivery event. So I said, hey, Vu, there's actually an after party hosted by the Austin Tesla Owners Club. Why don't you come with us? So when he dropped us off at the hotel, he's like, yep, I'm turning off Uber. I'm not accepting any more rides. I am done for the day. Wherever you guys want to go, I'm just going to drive you around. I was like, really? So I was famished. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, and I had not had anything to eat the whole day. So Heather, Cameron, and I decided to go get Texas barbecue at Terry Black's. And so I said, Vu, why don't you come with us and have dinner with us? So he joined us for dinner, and then afterward, took him to the after party. When we got to the after party, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening, and the party had already been going on for several hours by then. It was dark, and when I ran into Sandy Moreau at the factory, he gave me a wristband for the after party. He said, take it, take it. So I didn't know where the entrance was and where we could get the badges and whatnot. So I was kind of lost when a Norback from Austin, Texas Owners Club was coming out, and somebody was following him. So I said, hey, Norback, where's the entrance? You know, how do I get a badge? And Norback turned around to me and he said, oh, Joy, give me a minute. And the person that was following him, I was like, is that Franz? And they both turned around, and sure enough, it was Franz. Franz actually attended the after party. He arrived in his Cybertruck that people were just circling around, taking photos with. So Norback said to Franz, oh, hey, this is Tesla Joy. And I'm like, Franz, we took a photo earlier this afternoon. And he's like, yeah. So Franz started walking up to me, and I was walking up to Franz, and we hugged. Yes, I hugged Franz. And I guess we're like buddies now. Just kidding. But I got to brag about that all night, that I hugged Franz. So then Franz was actually leaving the party as I was coming in. Talk about timing. So I got to see him hopping into his Cybertruck and his Cybertruck driving away. So that was a super cool moment for me. And once we got inside the after party, Vu, my Uber driver, he's like, yeah, I watch YouTube videos. He knows Sandy Moreau. He knows Kim Java. He knows Farzad. I'm like, come with me. Let me introduce you to all of them. So I grabbed Vu with me and walked up to the front. And I was like, Sandy. And Sandy is just an amazing person. So Sandy was like, hey, Joy, what are you doing on that side? You should be in here. I was like, no, it's okay. But I want to introduce you to a huge fan of yours. And I told him about the whole Uber story. And Vu happened to be wearing a Tesla hat. So Sandy said, take off your hat. So Vu was like, okay. So he took off his hat, and Sandy signed Vu's hat. And Vu was just like, what? I can't believe this. So Vu took a selfie with Sandy, and then Kim Java was on stage. But as soon as she came down, I was like, hey, Kim, I want to introduce you to a fan. Same story. So he met Kim. Same thing with Farzad. So it was just really cool how random it was that we got this Uber driver who is a huge Tesla supporter, and he ended up hanging out with us the entire night. So that was my day in Austin, Texas for the Cybertruck delivery. It's just so fun to be among the community, and I've met people that I didn't really interact with, but I've heard of them before, and they're just like super down to earth people. Again, just such a wonderful time seeing everyone and meeting new friends. So thank you for watching this Cybertruck delivery event video. I will see you in the next one, and God bless you.